I paid Alex Hormozi $35,000. Yes, $35,000 for 2 days of mentorship. Not even directly from just him the whole time. Wild. But I learned way more than a $35,000 lesson. I learned a $500K lesson, and I'm going to give it to you for free. Because here is what I've seen. Way too many business owners build businesses blind. You literally are gambling with your business and your life and your money and your future, where you are not building a business for true, hardcore predictability. And listen, I'm all about being connected, doing what feels right for you in your business, feeling into the flows of business. But at the end of the day, if you cannot create consistent, profitable income on demand when you want, you do not have a business, you have a hobby. You have something you're playing with, and way too many people are doing this, and it's time we change that. So inside of this video, I'm gonna be breaking down what your personal business math equation is. This was the biggest thing that I learned from Alex Hormozi that changed my entire viewpoint on business. And honestly, ever since then, my business has doubled in revenue. My profit has gone up, and the amount of days that I work has gone significantly down, and I do not launch or do anything. And let me tell you how and why. Your personal business math equation is the equation that allows your business to predict what it actually needs to do, generate, create, to have the revenue that you want. So that if in 6 months you want to be able to know what you have coming in later in the year, what you have coming in 6 months from now, you could literally predict it. And if you cannot predict your revenue, you are sitting in a dangerous place in business. And unfortunately, it's not your fault, but so many people have not actually learned how to think about business for predictability. And instead, you're following the flows of you did a launch, you did something else, and you got sales in, but it's not predictable. And a lot of times you're trying too many things, and you need to simplify, because we can't figure out your personal business math equation if we don't simplify it. So I want to break this all down for you so you can have it for free, because honestly, that's why I do this, so that people can make more money more easily, live their lives, live passionately, and do it in a way that's actually predictable. Because at the end of the day, what are you doing if it's not predictable? And let me say what I mean by predictable. What I mean by predictable is I literally have revenue coming into my business till 2027 because of my predictable business math equation. So let's break this down. So if you know Alex Hormozi, he's all about simplicity and focus. And now there's many ways of how he does business that I'm not about, but what I do love is his simplicity of being able to break down business foundation strategy, which if you are not using foundational business strategy every day in your business, you again are just gambling with your time and energy, and it's just not worth it at all. So in every business, it doesn't matter what your business is, your personal business math equation is the ability to know how many leads, what your sales conversions, and what income is coming into the business. Now, this only works if you actually decide to, one, dial in your offer and freaking stick with it and make it the best. And let me just tell you, I have other videos on exactly how I have a 98% client retention rate. And I literally tell you exactly what you need to do to have high client retention, because that is another terminology in business called churn, which is actually the thing that allows you to make insane amounts of money, is having retention. And you don't have good retention if you don't have an offer you stick with. So number one, you got to dial in your offer. You can absolutely raise the price on it when it's good, and keep raising the price on it when it keeps getting better, which is what I teach you, by the way, inside A Wealthy Woman, is how to create really dynamic, incredible offers for retention that actually keep people coming back for more and paying more even when you raise your prices. So number one, you got to know the price point of your offer, and you got to know that your offer is so good. And I don't recommend sitting behind the scenes working on your offer. I recommend testing and keep refining your offer. For instance, for me inside of my business, I've been running Wealthy Woman now for almost 3 years in the business. So while everybody else focuses on a ton of offers and creating new, my offer has just gotten better. My retention went from 67 to 98%. And instead of planning on things of my offer, I'm delivering it and getting feedback. And so therefore I can change the pricing. I can change what's included to just make it better, which it honestly is hands down the best business program out there for women who actually want to make money and have flexibility for their life. So you got to know your offer. You got to know the price point of your offer so that we can create predictability. Secondly, we need to know, where do you primarily get leads from? If you are not tracking where you get leads from, we're gambling. Don't gamble with your business. It's just not worth it. Okay? It is not worth it. So you need to track, where do leads, where do new clients, where do they actually come from? There's a system, again, I teach inside of Wealthy Woman, of how we track where your leads come from. Because oftentimes you will have different sources of where your leads come from. And the goal is to have 1 to 2 really solid sources where your leads come from, that we can start to create predictability. Again, business is about predictability, not doing a lot. What we do well, and we do it well because we're doing it on repeat, you're going to be able to increase the conversions even more. So this is where understanding, number 1, where your lead's coming from. If you need a tracker, go have a tracker. That is what I do. So for instance, it might be DM conversations. It might be a workshop. It might be you're getting leads from your website and you have a link and people are finding you. It may be from you guest teaching. Where are leads coming from? It may be referrals. You need to track it. And when I mean track it, I mean literally every lead you have had in the last year. Take a paper right now, write down their name. Where did they come from? Where is the place you got the most amount of lead? That is your lead gen system. You are welcome. And now if you want to change your lead gen system, because maybe you have referrals and that's not really predictable unless you know how to work a referral system, then that's fine. We can work on that. But it's really good to know where leads are actually coming from, again, so you can create predictability. Ideally, what you want to do is have 1 to 2 really strong lead gen systems that you like doing, that you feel good about. That way, if you want more business coming in, all you got to do is pump that lead gen system, right? Pump that lead gen system. It gets to be fun. I promise. We're all about fun in the business. Number 2, you want to know your sales conversion number. Okay. So whether you sell on a webinar, you sell on a sales call, you sell in the DMs, let's say, you sell in person, wherever you sell, you need to know every call, every one person that comes in, what is your percentage of them converting? For instance, let's say I do sales calls, which I do. So if you want to join Wealthy Woman, I will get on a call with you. So let's say I convert at a 50%, which I actually don't at all. It's what I have, because I'm all about sales and doing it authentically. So if you want to, let's say you convert at a 50%. So I know, because I've tracked with data, you got to know your data. I know that I have a 50% conversion rate. That means every sales call that I have, when I look at my average, I notice that out of every 20 people, 10 people convert to work with me. So that is my sales conversion number. Now, why is that so important? That is telling me now how many leads I need based off my conversion to hit the income that I want. Are we ready? We're ready. It's so simple. It's wild. But again, most people aren't testing their data, knowing their data, having an automation for their data, and doing so many random things that you can't even actually create a system out of it because you're doing too many things. Focus, I'm telling you, focus is the name of the game. Biggest thing I learned from Alex Hormozi, keep it so simple, right? One way that people come in, one conversion strategy, and one offer until you're at $1 million. And really, you can do it different ways, but simplicity is queen, king. It's amazing. So let's now look at it. Now you know your conversion rate, okay? So we have our leads, we have our sales, and you know your conversion rate. Now we can create what income you actually want to be having in the business, literally on demand. And wait till I bring this in with your life, flexibility, summer, you name it, just wait a moment. So let's talk about it. So if you know, let's say primarily you get leads, let's just use a very classic example. This is not what I do, by the way, but let's just say this is what you do, webinar or a workshop. And you know that you get people on a workshop and a webinar, and from the workshop and webinar, predictably you get to book, let's say 40% of calls, right? Let's say you have a 40% conversion from the webinar onto calls, okay? So let's say, for instance, that you have an offer that is $5,000. And we know from sales call, your sales call conversion is 60%. That means out of everybody who comes in, you convert at 60%. Okay, so we know $5,000 for your offer, 60% conversion. And let's say you want to make $30,000 in 1 month, okay? $30,000 a month. Then what does that look like? That means you need 10 calls to get 6 clients to get $30,000. So then let's bring it back to your lead gen system. How many people do you need showing up, engage at the webinar to be able to convert to 10 sales calls? Do you see how simple it is? It's so simple. So we know your lead gen system is a webinar. Then we know, for instance, from the webinar or the workshop, whatever it is, that you need to book 10 calls. Okay, so we know that you need to book 10 calls because you convert at 60%, and that will give you a $30,000 month. So let's say I want to have $30,000 months for the next 4 months, and then I actually want my next the months over, let's say in the fall, I want them to be 40K or 45K because I want November, December off, right? This is where we get to have so much fun in the business, and you actually get to design your year. Because here's the thing I learned very quickly, especially when I was hitting 100K launches multiple times in the business. And this is something I teach inside of Wealthy Woman very specifically. The goal is never to hit the exact same revenue every single month in the business. That doesn't really matter, right? When we look at a business, it's what did it make for the year? The goal is, though, that you are creating predictable revenue on the months you want to, right? So if you want, for instance, for me, December this last year was a $70,000 month, and I took 2 weeks off and I did no launch. But that was very strategic for me, right? And so this is where I could know, okay, I want December to be a really high month. And this is where we get to decide what months do we want higher, whereas I may have a lower month in August because I'm not really working that much and I don't really want to be focused on sales activity. And ironically, in December, I wasn't, but I know it's going to be a higher month because I know how I structure things in my business. So therefore, let's say you want a slower summer. Let's say you're not going to have huge sales coming in. That's great. Then we just buffer your other months based off of your business math equation. Now, some people love having the same month every month, and you can also set that up. But the thing you really want to do is you want to know your personal math equation for your business so that I can create predictable income. Literally, inside of Wealthy Woman, one of the things that we do is we have a financial forecast tracker. What this does is this allows us to look at what you have coming in for the whole year. This allows us to make very strategic decisions based off of what we know your conversion rate is, based off of where you get leads come from, and then so you can actually hit this certain amounts of number that you actually want to. For instance, one of my clients is pregnant right now and she knows she's gonna have a baby. And she specifically wanted to buffer her time so when she has maternity leave, she has no pressure for any sales, which is what you should do, which is what I did when I had a baby. Again, we're in charge of the business. And so what we have already done, even though that's not happening for 8 months, we have already planned out what she's doing on the months that she feels the best and has the most amount of energy, how we're setting up her sales so she has no pressure at all when the baby comes. Again, you need to have this, whether it's being pregnant, whether it is having life, whether it's just wanting to have vacation. You need to be able to have a business that actually allows you to have predictability, that actually allows you to create consistent revenue when you want. And the way that you do that, number one, and again, this is what we do in Wealthy Woman, is number one, we build out your lead system. Now, something that is very different and really important, I personally think you need to build out a lead system that you like to show up for. So for instance, I was killing it with my launches, 300K launches in a row, and I stopped. Why? Because it wasn't a lead gen system I wanted to maintain with my lifestyle. I value no pressure. I value sales coming in every single month and not needing to launch. That is what I valued. So I purposely created a new lead gen system that I purposely use in my business for new people to come in, find me, join my world. Okay? So you want to be able to have a lead gen system. Again, one primary, and then typically you have another one just in case that ever were to slow down. We always want to have a way that people can come in your world and your business, and that it's ultimately building the type of lifestyle of lead gen system you want. Again, if you don't want to do launches, then we need to build out something else. Then your sales conversion. This is where then you decide, where do you want to do the selling, right? Is it in the DMs? Is it on a sales call? Is it from a workshop or a webinar? And then what we want to do is we want to dial up so your sales conversion, whatever it is, which again, if you don't know it, We have a tracker inside of Wealthy Woman for that. Whatever your sales conversion is, we want to dial it up so that it's as high as it can possibly be, right? So for instance, my sales conversion is in the 90%. It has from the very beginning. I also have a high sales conversion and a high retention rate. A lot of my clients inside of Wealthy Woman end up increasing their sales conversions a lot higher because I teach them how to sell in a way that isn't very salesy, but also because this is really important. I'm giving you guys all. It's really important because you're not just selling to someone, you're creating a pipeline of content or ways or touch points that they're coming into your world that by the time they get to the sale, they already know they want to work with you. They're already interested in your offer. They already know what you do, the results you get, and how you work with people, and they're already bought into you. So then therefore your sales conversion goes up so high because we've built out the ecosystem. I always say this, your business ecosystem before that. Then once your conversion rates go up higher, then we can create, again, that predictability. So if you know, let's say you're 60%, I know that I want to hit 30K a month. That means I need 10 calls a month to hit that. Now, do I think it could be, and typically you need way less calls and way higher conversions? Yes, that's my goal in my world, because the way that I teach sales is different than like anybody else. But again, if you don't know your own business math equation, that is feedback for you that 1, you do not have a business built for predictability. 2, you got to track some data. 3, you probably need some mentorship and some support. And 4, that you're really gambling with your time and your money and your life. And you can't afford to do that, right? You have taxes to pay, you have bills to pay. You need to be able to plan things out in your business. And this is what I really call safety proofing your business. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be like this intense thing that you do. It can be really simple. And we simply do it by you deciding what is your lead gen system, primary, secondly, what is your sales conversion strategy, how do we increase sales conversions, and then how do we set up your year based off what you actually want. And then we improve your program more and more, and then raise the price more and more, depending on what it is, or move people into another tier, which is a whole nother video. Again, go watch if you want retention. This is probably one of the most important things that I did in my business. It has allowed me to work half the amount because my focus is there. And that's the thing that I love about this system. It is really about allowing you to focus so you know what you need to do every single day, every single month, every single week in the business. There's no distraction. You know what aspect, where are you on your math equation? What part do you need to work on? What part do you need to put your attention on? And it really takes out all the emotion of business, and it's just clarity. It's clarity, and you just get to shine and bring your gifts. And this is what we do in Wealthy Woman together. I literally help you build this out for you very, 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 very specific so that 1, you freaking love the whole process of it. 2, we're using real data. And 3, that when you're done, you have a predictable business system. I always say a business ecosystem so that it is rinse and repeat. Again, predictability is the name of the game. It's not about gambling. It's not about new ideas all the time. We can have new ideas, but we want to make sure that we have a real business model built for our life. Because at the end of the day, my whole passion is that you make amazing amounts of money. I'm talking 30, 40, 50, 60K a month on repeat, not randomly, not because of a big launch month, on repeat. And you can do that when you actually build out your business for predictability and for sustainability. So if this is landing with you and you want to know how you can do this and how you can implement this, go ahead and click the link below and you can book a call with me, and I will share with you exactly what I see for your business and exactly how we would do this together. And I will just mention, I never thought I'd be an Alex Hormozi lover, but I love the simplicity. And I think there's a beauty in simplicity, and the clarity that lives in simplicity is everything.